Hello and welcome to the Viva Bastardo show, coming to you from London, England, and brought to you by the Hagerty Podcast Network. Today we have George Bamford, the watch impresario, car fiend, all-around contrarian and fascinating chat. We talk about some of the watch. He brings some of the watches he likes, he's interested in, that he thinks are under the radar and unusual. We talk about cars. We talk about all the usual stuff we talk about. But he's a lovely, lovely chap. He was He was injured yesterday in a in some sort of school activity. So the podcast is a little bit shorter than it should be. But anyway, let's get into it. This podcast is also brought to you by Vital Oxide. I am now gesturing to the bottle gloriously and seductively if you're watching on YouTube. It's a very powerful, heavy-duty odor eliminator. It doesn't just eliminate the odors, it destroys them entirely. It's a surface disinfectant. It kills viruses like COVID-19. It eliminates mold and mildew for up to 4 weeks. And there's no fragrance added, which is always fantastic because I don't like that fake piney smell. So Vital Oxide, check it out, listeners. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast, man. I'm sorry about your injury. I'm grateful you're here despite your injury.
It's funny. It's at sports day you get knocked over and this is what happens to you. I mean, I wish I'd loved to say it was like this great thing. I jumped out of a plane and I was catching.
I thought when you started paragliding, parasailing, you should...
or even cycling. The thing is, someone said to me, "Oh, you did it cycling?" No, I didn't. I cracked my tooth. I fractured my arm, and that's why this podcast is a bit short. I'm sorry about that.
That's
because
fine,
I've got to go to the hospital after this. Yeah. But I wouldn't miss this for the world. I really wouldn't.
I know this is bucket list level for you. Viva Bastardo podcast.
No, you say that, but I have so much respect for you.
Well,
I have so much love. Your brand, but you, how you are, your watches, your cars, your life.
Well...
and not in that way.
This is going to end up in a mutual hand job situation here because I feel exactly.
I need another hand.
That's funny. Well, what I was thinking is, I was looking around. I was looking at some of your interviews and stuff, and I realized we are actually secretly, possibly brothers from another mother, but I was born much earlier because. You are.
I need an older brother.
You always wanted an older brother. Oh, you are a pathological contrarian.
Yeah.
In the same way I am. Like you are. What you said something in an interview which I thought was interesting, which was you had been given a Daytona, and I think you said you went to some dinner parties, you realized all these other people had the same watch, and you didn't like that. And that's the thing for me is I don't like having stuff that other people have necessarily, and it kind of drives me in all.
It's the weirdest thing. I love collecting things that... Okay, you do... Now, the other thing is you do... I like it when other people go, "Oh yeah, I actually like that in the end." And
that's right. You see, you're part contrarian, part evangelist.
Well, no, but right at the end, then people go, "Oh my God, I've just been buying that," or and it's just that kind of thing of you asked me, let's talk about whatever you want to talk about now.
Sure. Which is irritatingly open-ended.
That is kind of like, I'm like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but I'm like...
You can say whatever you want, man.
Okay, well, fuck you, motherfucker. I'm like, literally, it's the hardest thing. It's like, what do you talk about? And I was trying to think of like what... You're right, contrarian. I love when something pushes the boundaries. I like when you can do something different. I mean...
But I think you're also a bit of an evangelist, and let me explain what that means. For me, what I really take joy in is finding something weird and obscure and then showing other people how great it is and then seeing them go, you know what, I actually bought one of those things that you were talking about. And I feel like you get the same sort of joy out of evangelizing obscure stuff or things that are...
What, like your 220?
I'm
like, literally, you can convince... Every time I see your Jag... on Instagram, I'm like going, motherfucker, that's cool. Then when I get in it, I'm like going, no, it's a nightmare.
Why not?
Because
what's wrong with that?
The driving position. I feel like, I need to break my arm to get into that proper driving position.
But come on, I've owned so many cars that you're almost side saddle to drive. I mean, the M1, the Stratos, all that stuff. You're just at a 45-degree angle, and I
drive Defenders.
You've got all manner of... I mean, don't you have a 275 long wheelbase for starters? Is that not side saddle or is that normal?
It's kind of normal. I mean, like
Okay.
I can drive it normally. I mean, no, but
I like
mean,
how the word normal is in the same sentence as 275 short long
no,
wheelbase.
but the thing I would say to you is, I've just felt like, what the hell am I? It was like almost like tapping my head and rubbing my tummy or something,
Which I can't do.
No, but you know what I mean. But you know, when you talk about contrarian and evangelist type way of doing it, I just think that in the world there has been some amazing designs, some amazing things that get overlooked.
Yeah.
You've said about the M1, it's one of my bucket list cars. It's, you know, I've never driven one.
I'll tell you, it'll change you. It changed my life automotively.
Well, I
had always been 60s, early 70s cars, Italian cars, and I bought the M1. And I said that, you know, all of that is rub. I mean, look, I don't have a 275, so I don't know what that's like, and I suspect that that might be an
come and drive it. I'd love you to drive it.
I would love to, man. I'd be terrified, but I'd love to. But that car changed my mind about it. I got rid of everything and started again when I got that car.
Well, it's for me, that's my bucket list car.
Is it?
And
do you have other bucket list cars?
It's the only one. And
really?
I know that sounds strange, but because I've tried quite a few cars. I've sat in certain cars. I'm very lucky that I own most of the bucket list cars, but it's also.
Can you give me the executive summary? Because I know about the 275, which is utter glory and depressingly fantastic. What are the bits?
Do you know, I brought that now probably about 18 years ago, something like that, and it wasn't worth a lot.
I remember I bought a 246 Dino. I had bought one in 2009 for 90 grand, dark blue, and then someone said, I've got a 275 long wheelbase, it's 600 grand. And I said, that's ridiculous. That price is ridiculous.
Okay. No. This was a hell of a lot cheaper than that.
I'm sure.
So, I mean, like,
I'm sure.
And then I found out it was an aluminium body. I found out all the things. What
else did you find out?
Well,
I mean, aluminium body in and of itself, for people who don't know about
rare.
275s, is holy grail level business.
And then I found the original color. So I brought it, and it was tangerine orange, and I was just like, okay. And as you probably see, I like black,
right?
And so,
did you take off the door cards? And you found the original color?
No, we went back to Classiche and asked them what was the original color.
Okay,
it was 10% or 15% red and rest black. So in the sun, it has this wonderful border.
Is that a special order color?
So there was only 2 cars done in that color, and I was like, oh really?
How intriguing! Meanwhile, you're having fire.
I was like, yeah.
There's something extraordinary about. I don't know if this has happened. I don't think this has really happened to me. I mean, about buying old cars and then onion-like, they reveal things to you which sometimes are extraordinary and make the car infinitely more valuable, and you had no idea when you got it. And it's it's like a birthday present. It's extraordinary. It's a gift.
Well, or the other way around. I brought a 356 Speedster at auction in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
It's right-hand drive, so it's rare. Because they didn't make very many right-hand drives, and basically I got it back into the UK, and it was white, and I thought, oh, this is going to be wonderful. I felt very Top Gun-esque.
It's reliable. It's a Porsche.
Well, I thought it was reliable. Anyway, 3 years of rebuild.
So what was wrong with it?
New engine, new chassis, basically the only things I think we really did keep. I should never really admit this, but I think we kept the VIN plates.
Right. Well, what was wrong with it?
So, I thought it was 100%.
That's a whole podcast
No,
about what's wrong with
I mean,
it.
like, literally, you can see on Bamford Auto Department, you can see the actual rebuild of it, and it was everything, because you know, in Asia they can simulate quite a lot,
right.
And a lot of the parts, a lot of the panels were 3D printed, but reinforced 3D printed, and that we didn't know.
Out of what, fiberglass?
So you would tap it and it would feel solid, but then there was the rust around it that was painted over.
Okay.
So I mean, every part, every
Did
panel.
you buy it at an auction? Did you not have? You couldn't go back and say, "Hey, as
Well,
it turns out, 99% of this car's made of plasticine."
but it was it's because there's not many of them in the world. I mean, there's only 10.
Ah, okay.
So it's one of those things where you go, I'm lucky to have this car.
Right. Okay.
Then I went to Porsche and asked them to do it, and they didn't. So I went to.
They were not interested, even though there's 10. It's a whole thing.
It's another conversation.
Oh, by the way, congratulations on the podcast. Yours
about effing time.
Yeah, I just watched it.
Yeah, that's. Do you know I almost had? Okay, here we go. I'm sounding like I changed my T-shirt specially for you because I thought Snoopy for president would be good.
Would you have an About Effing Time T-shirt?
I do.
You've already got merch. You're already up and running with the merch.
No. There was only 3 T-shirts.
Oh, very nice, man.
Well, you know on design, but
Yeah.
and that's me. So each of us had our own T-shirt
All right,
for the day.
fantastic.
It wasn't like I create merch. I didn't create.
So
merch.
for everyone watching and listening, you have a podcast called About Effing Time with yourself,
Andrew McCutcheon from Time and Tide,
Yeah.
and Adrian Barker from Bark and Jack, and
he has I don't know, I haven't watched Andrew. I don't know him particularly well via the internet, but Adrian I've seen, and he's got a very
dry.
Yeah, but he's got a really lovely demeanor.
Oh, do you know, honestly, the three of them, so there's also a producer called Marcus that's kind of the cool dude as well. He's like I always say he's the 10th Beatle. He's kind of like the one in the background, kind of. But what was interesting is I'd never met them before. I met them at Watch Some Wonders this year.
And so does that when you sat down and said, let's do a podcast?
No, what happened was we'd done a few Teams meetings and they'd been on my podcast, my GB Talks.
Right.
It's all about weird watches. So that's what I brought today, but we're now rabbiting.
No, I want to see all of the stuff, man.
But we met only on kind of a screen.
Right.
And Andrew McCutcheon's based in Australia, so it was either I was drunk or he was drunk. So every time we did a podcast, it was either really early in the morning for him or late at night, and it was the same for me. So it was one of us was drunk and one of us was sober,
Right.
and it was just the funniest thing. And we got on that, and then same with Adrian. Adrian wasn't drunk, but it was chatting and things.
But is he not? Presumably, he's based in.
He's in Glasgow.
I see.
So he's in another state.
Right. Okay. right.
No. But anyway, it was quite interesting. You've got and we were at Watch Some Wonders, and we bumped into each other, and we did a YouTube.
Right.
And that was it. It was an impromptu. What was the best things at Watch Some Wonders? So this is the big watch event. And I was like, the Tag Heuer event, the space is freaking cool. IWC's rocked it. These are the 2 things. Boom, boom, boom. Anyway, the viewership just was like unreal. And they're like, you should do a series. And we were like, and then it was kind of like
more podcasts, man. There's so few of them.
Yeah, and that was the thing. So we were like, okay, let's get the band together, and it was like, and we've done 10 episodes, and we got a sponsor that I was just like,
I know,
wow.
I saw you got the vodka. Wait, you've already
Gin.
Wait, the one I saw. Yes, that's number 1. And
That's
you've
number
already
1.
got 10 in the bag.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit, man! It's like an industrial process. I mean, you know what? I was looking at it and I was just irritated. Because you've got this glorious set, you've got the overhead cam, you've got it all figured out. I mean, Viva Bastardo, I'm like in a shed.
Sorry,
well, not this one, but back in.
New York, no, I've got a podcast room that is like literally like I've got just the microphones and that's it, and you got some Master Dynamic headphones, so that's it. So honestly, I am one of those. What was great was having the sponsor, because what it did was it said we could actually put some money on production,
right?
Instead of kind of
being in a shed.
But that was also but that was me. You remember the podcast we did, GB Talks? Yeah. It's exactly the same. It's not big budget. It's not, right. And then I was always kind of going, well, what would I wish? And Andrew and Adrian were just like, look, we get the sponsor in, we get money up into it, and we'll do it. And so we got the gin sponsor. Just mentioning 4 Pillars here. Hello.
Brought to you by.
But it was really good because we got a brand that gave a shit about watches.
Right.
And the thing is that we're not getting we've said we won't get watch sponsors into it. So the next season,
to keep it agnostic.
So the next season, we're going to be looking at where we're going and what we're doing, but we'll go out in the field and do some kind of weird stuff. And, and there's no watch sponsor, so it's got to be other sponsors.
Well, that makes sense because then you're, like I said, then you're agnostic. You don't feel obliged to talk beautifully about something.
But that's the thing. It's like you. But it's also the same with GB Talks. I fund it, so I don't need to kind of go, oh my God, I've got to talk nice about them. I'm very, very literal and say, hey, this is what I like.
Right.
But I'm going to take this off because it annoys me.
Do you want to?
Painful
Do you want to show me some of these things you brought? I don't know what we'll have to.
Okay, no, you like weird things, and I like weird things, and I wanted to bring some watches that I think are unsung heroes.
Okay,
but in the day they were sung heroes, and what I mean is that they had a hero point, and then
they disappeared into the sands of time. They just sink into the swamp. And
that was a thing where I was just like, there's watches that I really freaking like that I'm weird to this. Now I will say there's one watch that I didn't bring along to this because I couldn't find it in London, so I don't know where. I think it's somewhere else, but it's an IWC Perpetual calendar.
Okay.
And this is a Portuguese Perpetual calendar. And the reason why I like it, that should be here, and it was kind of my first one.
Right.
And the reason why I say it's one of my first ones is because it's the first one that kind of defined a Perpetual calendar movement. There's no dots you have to press around the side to change any of the functions. All works from one crown. And it's a big ass watch, and it comes in white gold, yellow gold, and I think some other wonderful precious materials.
Do you like big ass watches?
No, I don't. But I like the idea of this because it's designed. The movement's designed by a guy called Kurt Klaus.
Okay.
And Kurt Klaus is a designer, a movement designer from.
This is weapons grade nerdery.
Oh no!
You know the designer.
So wait. So,
wait. Let me explain.
So Kurt Klaus. Yeah. If you ever Google Kurt Klaus, you'll see some YouTube videos that have been produced by IWC.
Okay.
And he's going around a so-called Apple shop and going,
oh, I have seen that.
And he is the dude of dudes.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy is just like, and it's one of those questions, and you just go, you want him to go and investigate every type of watch manufacturing. Just go and investigate it, because you're just like, okay, this is cool. He is just the coolest dude. So anyway, he kind of came up with this idea of running it all from one crown. Okay. Now, there is so much geekiness that I don't know enough about.
So you like mechanical bits and pieces on the watches. You see, I'm a massively shallow bastard. I'm all aesthetics. I don't know what's happening in there. I don't care what's happening in there. I just want it to look good.
Do you know that I love the look, but if I took you back, I stripped watches when I was a kid.
I know. Because I read in all the multiple interviews, the Breitling.
Okay.
Early age, man. I stalked you online.
I absolutely fucked that Breitling. So it's like,
what Breitling was it?
It's Breitling Navitimer.
Like a 50s one?
Yeah.
Oh, those are beautiful. I love those.
I think 300 quid or 200 quid my parents paid for it.
Well, yeah.
So, and literally you see the scars on it, and it's amazing.
Do you still have it?
Oh, of course I have.
And it works? Ish.
My watchmakers keeps on going back to them.
Right, it returns on a regular basis. It misses them.
Well, do you know in lockdown I was teaching my son how to strip a watch, and we were doing pocket watches. And,
God, in lockdown I was playing Nintendo with my daughter. I feel like something's going on with my parenting.
So my claim to fame, my only claim to fame in lockdown, is I learnt how to draw Snoopy.
That's impressive.
That's my only claim to fame. Everything
else.
My friends have learned Italian.
That's excellent. 2 years well spent, George. So 2 years very well spent. You come out of 2 years, you could draw Snoopy, man.
That was my only claim to fame.
I feel like that's it.
Yeah, no.
Wait, show me some of these things.
Okay, so anyway, I'm going on the IWC thing.
Okay, is this the one from the mid-90s? I don't know. I can't see that far. I'm a human mole.
So it's Top Gun.
Okay.
And
wait. Explain. Describe it and then tell me what it is, and I'll take a picture.
This is an IWC, and it is, for me, it's one of the coolest watches because it described a watch. I got given this by my parents. It was something I begged them to get for me, so it was like one of those things, and they gave it to me for Christmas one year. And
What year is this watch?
fuck knows. You asked me about geeking out. I don't.
No, you know the important shit. Like I will ask people, what color is it, or when was it made? Like that's the unimportant shit.
Okay, well look,
I like having you're sort of having that.
No, I'm just saying if it's work. No, the reason why I'm doing this is because it's a split-second chronograph.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why is this gave me this whole idea. I loved weird movements and weird things. So I did a single push chronograph for my business that's called the B347. It's just a single push.
Yeah.
And the reason why I loved it is it's different. This is a split-second chronograph. Now, why I'm talking about something like a split-second chronograph and you're like going, I'm about to go to sleep, is because...
No, I'm fascinated. Please,
Really?
George, continue.
No,
about
okay.
the B, what's it?
B347, that's my watch.
347.
Fuck you.
The B who?
The Bamford. Okay. No. So the reason why I'm geeking out on this and why I am is because it's a chronograph. It's a regular chronograph. So you go stop, start, and so I'm just doing that.
Yeah.
And then what I love is it's got this little plane right at the bottom. And you go, oh, that's really nice.
How charming.
Then you press that, and the bomb goes below.
Wait, it drops a bomb.
It drops a bomb. Look.
Wait a minute. Hang on, man. I've got to see this.
Okay, I'll reset it and so you can do
it.
it.
This is amazing. This, you see, okay, that. For everyone who does not watch on YouTube,
press
George,
the stop.
The top one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then press the other top one.
Oh, this one?
Yeah. Do you see the little plane at the bottom? And now there's a bomb.
Oh, oh my God. Okay, that's amazing.
Okay, so there is a reason why, and you can see I've worn it. I've freaking nailed it. But why I like it and why I'm saying to you is I love the idea of this is because it's a clutch. Okay. So what you've got is you're driving along, and that's the chronograph, and then you put the clutch down. Right. And the second gear, that's the bomb, is the split-second chronograph, and that engages, and you're in second gear. So that's how the movement works. Okay. It's a very simple way of a clutch system. Now, I never knew this, so this is the thing is, and I was sitting in an almighty serious meeting with, and there was Mr. Guadalupe that's in charge of Hublot, and I had Jean-Claude Beaver sitting at the table talking to me about something.
A couple of young upstarts.
I mean,
up and comers in the watch business.
I mean, like these guys are, and Mr. Guadalupe explained how it works.
Right.
And I was just like, oh fuck, that's cool. And anyway, this watch I had for years, and I always loved a split-second chronograph.
Right.
And then when we were in this talk, I was talking about split-second chronographs, and I loved them. And he said, "You know how it works?" And I was like, "No." And he then explained it on this clutch system, and I was just like, "Oh fuck!" And then it was just like, "Oh my God!" And then I brought the watch back out, and anyway.
So now it means more to you because you understand how it works.
I know now, and it also was explained in such a way that I knew, and that's what I love is when, you know, a computer geek, if they can explain it in a simple way, then for me I'm happy. Sure. And same with watch. You know, if I said to you, it all runs from one crown, that's Kurt Klaus design. You don't care. It runs from one crown. Right.
Even I can grasp that concept.
Yeah, and where everyone's like, oh, you know, there's a little pusher here, and you have to have this little pin thing. It's like, what the fuck? You know, it has to be simple. It has to work. Sure. And that's what I love about. And so for me, that's, you have to be able to explain it to a layperson, and I have to explain it to myself and say, I like this because of this.
Okay. So what's the next one on the unsung heroes?
So we're going Hublot because
see now. You know what I like about Hublot is everyone hates Hublot, and I've willingly participated in the Hublot loathing orgy. And to be honest, I have no basis. You know what? There's two things. One is I feel like the '80s ones are kind of weirdly interesting and a little bit radical. I'm sure this will lose me millions of subscribers, all three of my subscribers. But the latest ones they've done, I remember looking at one of the latest ones. I can't remember, maybe it was see-through or something. And
You're asking mum and dad that are listening to you.
Yeah, I am. If you could get me on for Christmas. If you're listening, in the afterlife, there's a I think there's a see-through one. Did they make a crystal? Or,
sapphire.
Yeah, okay. And that was, I found myself like in a magpie way, weirdly drawn to it.
Well, you talked about 80s.
Yeah. Is this the porthole one?
This is the first. This is called an MMIM. Or
you see, I think this is a nice design,
for me,
man.
this is where you think about the design, you think about the gold version, the steel version. This was true 80s.
Yeah.
I can imagine Gordon Gekko's style.
It's very cool.
And
I like
for
the
me,
design of this.
I like the hands. I like the design. And I would love to say I love where Hublot is at the moment. I do to a degree, because I like that they're pushing every morning. They wake up and they put a new set of clothes on and go, oh, here we are again. Right. And they do some really crazy, wonderful stuff. And
do they do that Murakami watch?
Yes,
I like that.
I love that it's on the glass.
Yeah.
The Murakami pieces.
Yeah. Anyway. I've kind of looked at that every now and then. I look at it and go, oh shit, it's too much money. But I kind of like it. Also because I'm a massive Murakami fan. So,
this is the godfather of where Hublot is. And I love the idea of this. I love that this has been, such an amazing kind of history of a brand. Love it or hate it, you think about brands, you've got to hate them to a degree because you've got to love. If you're indifferent, then there is nothing. You don't feel anything, and that's where I love on that with Hublot. Right. So anyway, that for me is, you talk about 80s. This is right. And I was very lucky. I was on eBay and I found it, and it was just one of those things. And I found it for not much money.
You should get the one. Do you see that watch I posted a few weeks ago?
Yes.
The Louis Vuitton watch.
Oh. No, so Justin Hass and you are kind of...
Well, I saw he had it, and I saw it, and immediately, when you see
almost
something...
tried to sell it to me. He says, like, George, this one's for sale, this one's for sale. And I was like, it is fucking cool as a watch.
Yeah.
But
it's $500.
I know. Yeah. Shut the fuck up, George. I buy other weird shit. I literally... Sure. Today, I brought... What did I buy? I bought 6... Hoya stopwatches,
as one does,
but no.
But you won't buy the Louis Vuitton, the first Vuitton watch made by IWC.
Was the most expensive.
Okay, how much?
50 quid.
Okay, all right. Fair enough.
So what? $70.
Right.
And they're just so damn cool. I mean, like, you go on eBay, and anyway, a friend of mine said, I don't know what's happened, but a load has been put on eBay, and they're all buy it now for £15, £20, £30.
So they work, or you have no idea?
I've got watchmakers.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you see, I want to say that. I've got watchmakers. I don't care if it works. I've got watchmakers.
No, but honestly, these go on the wall anyway.
Right.
So I have a plastic box, and they go on them. So
you're such a collector.
Oh, I'm a weird collector.
You're a collector of detritus. Okay, just out of interest, man, I feel like you have small collections of all sorts of odd things. Can you just tell me a few of the small collections of odd things you have? I feel like they won't get you arrested.
Micro machines.
What's that?
They're mini little cars, and
are they all functional?
I gave them to my son, the full collection.
Okay,
and they're just the coolest things. When I was growing up, these things were. And anyway,
Okay, but I want something really odd.
No, this is odd.
No. I'm saying
literally like
I'm saying
these little fucking.
Come on, Bamford. There's got to be something odder in the menagerie. What's that?
Snoopies.
Well, yeah. I saw the tattoo.
No, it's not. This is my son put it on me because
it's a fake one.
Potentially, I'm going to a hospital. So
I see. Just a guardian Snoopy.
Yeah. So
very
Snoopy's
lovely.
on. Well, sorry, I've got Snoopy for president. So.
Right. What's the whole Snoopy obsession? Is that long? Has that been around for a while?
Since I was born.
Well, so for a while then.
So
really, no.
When I was
why?
born in my hospital bed, where when I was born. My parents put a Snoopy in my bed, and that Snoopy is opposite my bed at home.
Really?
And it's been through school, it's been through everything. Its
that's
head's
lovely,
fallen
man.
off twice.
Right.
It got hung up by friends or not friends at school.
Bullies.
This thing, it's had new ears, it's had new this, it's had a new neck about 20 times. But
my daughter has a creature like that. It just is surviving,
and it's had 4 or 5 name tags on it of mine, and
right.
But this has survived my life,
That's really, I have to say, man, that's really lovely. And so I didn't know. I mean, that's lovely, and I love that story, and there's something really beautiful about incorporating this thing that means so much to you into something you do.
Well, it makes me smile,
right?
And that's the thing is that. Whatever I do, I want to put my name behind it and say I want it, And the thing is that you've got to have something that you just go, I love. And, for me, Popeye, Snoopy, and let's say Sesame Street, the characters just make me smile.
Right.
Your elephant makes me smile. So
Right.
why, instead of kind of, I love the reaction when I bring out, this Frank Muller Snoopy that we did last year. So when I bring out something like that, and and you're at a serious supper or something,
I love the little Woodstock,
and you bring that out, and people go, "Oh." And it's a crazy hour as well, so the hands jump, and so when you're drunk at the middle of the night, it reads.
You
the
don't
wrong
have
time.
any idea what's happening.
It reads the wrong time, so you're just like, okay, we're here a little bit later. Okay.
Than I thought we were.
Exactly. But anyway, Snoopy for me makes me smile,
Right.
and that's the thing is and so I collect weird and wonderful Snoopies. I collect any kind of Snoopy models. In my office, I've got Snoopies in front of me. I've just brought some water bottles, Snoopy water bottles. I brought the McDonald's in Japan had these.
Just out of
figurines.
interest, is it tough to? I mean, is that Charles Schulz?
Yeah.
So is it tough to license that, or is it?
They're wonderful people to deal with.
Right.
Really? They're wonderful people, but it is tough. It's,
So how does I'm just curious. How does that work? Like, do you say this is what I want to use it for? Here's
No,
you
so I have
show
to
them a
submit
thing.
everything a while before, and then we have
Sure.
to go through everything, and then it's like, this is the project, this is what we're doing, this is how we do it.
Right.
And then we agree all marketing material, we
Sure.
agree video. It's very
exhaustive. It sounds like.
we-
Well, thorough rather.
yeah, but it's wonderful.
Right.
It's wonderful. I get to work with Snoopy. I mean, like, fucking cool. Sorry.
You're a very grateful person, man.
Oh no, but yeah, no, but
Well, look, I'll say this, and because you come from a like me, I come, and I can't pretend otherwise. I come from a privileged background. I was lucky to be born into the life I was born into, and when you are
we got born into the lottery.
that's right.
Yeah.
But when you are born into that life, often you don't realize how lucky you are, and often you're not as grateful as you should be. But you are. We don't know each other very well, but you are a very grateful person, man, and that's a lovely thing to see.
Well, look, I tell you, but honestly, it's so nice in life of having things that you go, oh, I want to do this, and other people love it.
Right.
You think about your brand. You think about. You were just like, yeah, I'm going to do T-shirts. I haven't got. That's the only thing I haven't got. I haven't got many of your T-shirts, and
Well,
I'll
send you a bunch, man.
Okay, no.
There's new ones coming out in a couple of weeks. A Viva Bastardo drop in end of July. Although who knows, maybe it'll be too late by the time this podcast comes out.
Okay, guys, just any time a drop happens, I just sit there just going, yes. I mean, you're pink. That pink that was a grey pink, fucking hell, that's cool pink.
Thank you.
I mean, it's but this is where people that care and do it right, you just go, yeah, they're enjoying what they're doing.
Right. Sure.
Okay, I know I've got to wrap up because I've got to go to hospital.
Okay.
But there is something else.
Oh, the casquette, man.
So
I
you and
love
I
that
love
thing.
the casquette.
Yeah.
So
I saw you blathering on your About
Yeah.
Fucking Time podcast. Can
so,
I see that? Is this the one you did?
No, this is the ceramic one. This is their new edition. I didn't bring the carbon one because I've got the prototype, but it's not in functional state. So that's just so damn cool.
Man, I haven't seen an LED watch. I'll say this because I'm peak geezer. That the last time I looked at an LED watch,
Original. So that's an original, and that's the new. Now, why I'm bringing something like
so
this
great.
is
Hang
because
on, I've got to try this thing on because it's just glorious. Here, you can have a look at this if you want. This is,
it's a Patek. Oh,
yeah, but it's not one anyone pays attention to.
no, but that's what I love.
Oh, this is great, man. This is genius.
No, but do you know that's what all of these watches, I think.
Yeah.
The casquettes come back, okay, but the vintage one still hasn't achieved what it should do.
Right.
And the new one is achieving good money because you can't get them.
Right.
So the old one, I think, it's like rocking horse shit, but the biggest problem you've got with it is the LCD.
Right.
And no matter what, there's a great person that does LCDs.
Oh, really?
Based in Australia. It's bloody amazing.
Okay. Do you have a person to fix Patek Beta 21s?
Beta 21 movement is an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember taking that
This is amazing,
disassembling a Beta 21 Patek, and I just feeling the hummingbird of it. Because what happens is the movement hums.
Yeah.
and you put it on your finger and you can feel this little vibration.
Yeah.
It's mind-blowingly that beautiful vibration.
Yeah.
Have I got someone? No, you're fucked. Sorry.
Great news.
Great news. You're
Great
fucked.
news. Top class. You're fucked.
But
here, let me give these back.
so-
these are amazing.
they're cool, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Those ones we've talked about. So I'll hand yours nicely back. There's kind of a
Is
few.
that a Timex quartz watch? No, in your hand. I thought that was. Why are you looking at your leg? Why? Holy shit, man! This is okay. It's not because I have my very. So just let me just a letter from the dawn of time, horological quartz time in the 70s. I remember clearly when digital watches came out, and I was mesmerized. Yeah. And I have my original Timex quartz watch with this case shape, vaguely looks like, but this is a Speedmaster quartz professional digital watch. Okay, so tell me.
So it's an Omega Speedmaster.
Yeah.
But it's a digital screen. I mean, like, it's such an anti-Speedmaster.
I know it is.
I freaking love it. And the thing is, this for me is one of those that you just go, this is the anti-Speedmaster.
This will enrage all Speedmaster fans.
Yeah, but why?
Guaranteed.
But the thing is, they're going up in value.
These ones.
And they will fly through the bloody roof.
These ones will.
Yeah, especially in light of the Swatch Omega. Now, that was the original.
Right.
That was the enrager. And no one got enraged then because there isn't.
When was this, 80s?
Yeah, about that.
Right. There's so much amazing 80s stuff.
But you think about that. That's the original Swatch Omega.
Right. But it wasn't sold like that. This was
No.
expensive at the time.
But
Was it not?
yeah, it was freaking.
I mean, what was this? I mean,
probably 1,500.
fuck. Okay, yeah,
Something like that.
that's not cheap.
But second hand.
This thing?
When I brought it was 600 quid.
Right.
But now they're about
See,
five
Louis
grand.
Vuitton watch, $500, man. Come now, sir.
I know. Look, I would say definitely. Okay, last one because I have to go.
make it, okay.
That's the regatta.
I
Now
love
the
the
reason why I
regatta.
love the regatta is because I love when you press that
Yeah, the dots.
the dots it's just so.
So
damn
for everyone at home, we haven't really explained. This is a Tag Heuer regatta, PVD black. I love this fucking watch. I think it's super genius.
It's
think
one of those. Please, Tag Heuer, bring this back. I would love this to come back.
It's so
this
great.
is a sexy
Did
watch.
they do this in a? They
Grey?
did not. They grey, but they did it in a green, or was that was a
No,
different?
that was another.
That was the chrono.
Yeah,
Okay, this is genius, man. I love it. I think, and
regatta.
this one
But
is.
it's so damn cool.
Yeah.
And black. And the thing is,
You know what actually makes part of what makes this amazing is the incredible massive kind of cushion case, square shape, and then this kind of slightly
Chainmail.
thinner band. If they made it now, they would have a much thicker band on it, which I think would really lose kind of why it's so genius. There's proportions, there's weird disproportion proportions are amazing. It's great, man. I
And
love this.
also the other thing is, I wouldn't say I think Tag Heuer would be able to do it, but most brands, if they launch this now, I think they would be like, we're going to go and buy a sailing yacht. We're going to be all about regatta time. It's all about boating. Honestly, this just sells itself. Don't fake it with like, hey, we can. No one gives a shit about regatta timing. Really, they don't.
But there was a weird period in the 80s when there were all these regatta timers, right?
But you look at it, and most people, you don't see people wanting to time when the boat needs to start.
Well, actually, George, just aside, it's a bit of a hobby of mine. I'm always timing boat starts.
Yeah, well, okay.
It's just a thing.
Yeah, well,
you know.
you're
But aside from me,
no, but you know what I mean is you don't. It's not. For me, the coolest thing is that is called the regatta. It's like drop the mic on everyone else. We've got it. We've got the brand. We've got something cool. And, you don't need to really hint too much about, hey, it's all about ocean, because you will disenfranchise most people if you...
I totally agree. Because most people will be like, well, as you say, most people can say, I'm not interested in boats. I don't care about... But the thing about this watch is it doesn't matter because it's just a fantastic piece of design. And the idea that those dots kind of reveal themselves across the top of the dial, it doesn't matter. I mean, look, it's like, well, it would be like Speedmaster people not being into Speedmasters because then they're not interested in astronautics or going to the moon or any of the rest of it.
So,
All right, you have to
Thank
bugger off.
Sorry.
So thanks so much for coming, man. Good luck at the hospital.
This has
Thank
been
you for...
so damn cool.
Yeah, I'm sorry I have to leave, man. We'll do it again properly
I like
when
the
you've
shed.
recovered. You what?
I like the shed.
Well, yeah, it's a
beautiful
London
shed.
London shed.